How you doing? I'm back. I need to see if I can talk to someone again. Hello, I was wondering if Mrs. Dell is in again. I need to speak with someone about reporting this. I've done everything they've told me to do. I went to Internal Affairs. Internal Affairs told me that. Yeah, thank you. Hey, sorry to keep bothering you, but we've been kind of getting the runaround. I talked to Internal Affairs like you guys told me to. They said because Sergeant Chiano didn't personally threaten me that they have to come back down and talk to you guys. Now, I called the non-emergency number. I had a deputy come out last week, and he said that I had to come back down here. And I said, I just need to update this existing report. I said, I was told, Internal Affairs told me to have a deputy call a non-emergency number, so I can make a report. I have evidence of fraud. I need to make a report. And then he had a sergeant call me, and the sergeant said that Deputy Heffernan would have to come back out and update the report. The one who made the original report.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was.
You have the DR number, don't you? Or can
yeah, she has it.
I can give it to you. I have it too. But if we can find out, because he said he would have her call me, and she never called me.
Again, like this, we don't handle that on the civil side.
Right.
Did you check with him to see they call the CID for the detectives?
He's called the under sheriff and left a message. We've done just about everything.
Did you?
And everybody I talk to tells me to go talk to the other person. I have evidence of a fraud here,
right.
And I was told to report this by the Social Security Administration. It's not just me. Like there's a big problem here because my daughter has a Social Security number with one last name and a fraudulent birth certificate with another last name. So. And then the IRS, and there's a whole bunch of things going on with it. So I have to report this as fraud.
Okay. But we don't do that in civil. Best bet is to keep calling the non-emergency number. They usually will dispatch somebody to you. But if they can call up to CID,
he refused to take a report.
To CID.
Okay.
That's another area you could go.
Okay. I just need to.
What's your phone? I'll pass it along again. What's your number?
315.
Yep.
396. 3344. Is the sheriff in by any chance? Because
I don't know. I have no clue.
He doesn't work in his office?
Not on this side. He's in a different part of the building.
Okay. Is there any way you can call him and see if I can talk to him? Because I'd like to talk to him about the deed as well.
Well, I can go through her, but she's in a meeting. She's not in right now.
Who's her?
It's the chief Dell.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any access to talk to the sheriff and ask
directly? No.
Okay. So,
but I will pass it along to her though. I know she was talking to people about it. I know for you.
She hasn't got back to me, and it's been.
But I know she passed it along, and I know somebody did call you back. Right.
Well, the only person I had contact with was from Internal Affairs.
Right, which I know she was talking to them to pass it along.
Right. Well, they said that you guys should have never advised me to call them in the first place because I was very clear that he never threatened me personally. It was done by Germano. So I don't. I just.
I know you're just looking at a report. So typically, it would be. They would dispatch somebody to do the report.
And they did. And then he refused. And then he had his sergeant call me and he left. And then the sergeant said that Deputy Heffernan would call me. And
could you call up the CID and see if anybody can help him to get the report done?
Get a report done?
Yeah. He's trying to report fraud. And nobody's doing anything.
And the deputy that came out to the house said I had to come here, and then they said I had a CID, and CID said to come back down here or have a deputy. So I'm being ran in circles, and I have.
Where do you live?
I live in Baldwinsville.
Live in Baldwin.
But in Baldwinsville said the crime was committed in the city, So I had to report in the city, in the county. And I'm being told to report this by the Social Security Administration and the Office of the Inspector General because it's a fraudulent birth certificate.
Right.
And when the deputy, one of the things is the man who did it is an attorney, and one of the things that happened was I've been down here saying this for weeks now, and I mean, I made my initial report on this almost a year ago. He told me he used Sergeant Chiano's name to threaten me. He said that Sergeant Chiano is a good friend of mine. You know that Jeff is my law partner and best friend. He said, right after I made the initial report on 11/8 of 23, he said, if you go down to the sheriff's department again, you're going to end up in an effing ditch. So I've been coming down to the sheriff's department, and I've been going, and I've been speaking about it publicly, and I'm on YouTube, and I'm doing whatever I have to do. But the thing is, this man threatened me using a deputy's name, and I've been getting the runaround. And the original report, I was told, the last thing I said was Deputy Heffernan will have to come and update her original DR number, and we'll have her call you. 3 times, 3 days have gone by, and she has not yet to call me. And
She might be off though too. If they've been in her
no,
past.
he said it very clearly. The sergeant said, I will speak to her sergeant directly. She's on tonight at 9:45, I believe was the exact time that she comes in on her shift, and we'll have her call you. And then the next night, that was 3 nights ago. So who is her sergeant? Do you know who she reports to?
That's a totally different department. We don't, like civil side, we don't handle
No,
that.
I understand. I'm just saying because he said that he would speak to her. What's that?
What's her name?
Deputy Heffernan, I believe it is.
Her name?
Like, I'm gonna pass this when I see her.
Listen, I appreciate you. I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
No, I know, it's just.
When the federal government tells you report a fraudulent birth certificate, and I'm like, I'm doing it. Nobody's listening. Like nobody wants to hear me.
Yeah, that's more patrol and.
No,
yeah,
I don't want you guys to think I'm harassing you or giving you a hard time. But
I'll pass it along again.
in the meantime, all the other threats are coming through, and this man is threatening to put me in a ditch. I want to get this reported before that happens.
I'll pass it along. I get you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
So you just need to do a follow-up, is that correct?
I need to like they wrote it up initially as forgery because he forged the document. I was told that a detective, someone from the criminal investigation division would follow up and I could sit down and talk with them and give them
Okay.
all the rest of the evidence because I put a bunch of evidence together and that proves that he did a fraudulent birth certificate, which is a federal crime. And like I said, I was just explaining to him there's a big problem because my daughter has one name, last name for her social security card, and one last name for her birth certificate. This man threatened me after I made my initial report with Deputy Heffernan. He threatened me using Sergeant Chiano's name, and he said you're going to end up in an effing ditch. Don't go down to the sheriff's.
Now, how did you use his name? Because
his law firm partner, Jeff Chiano,
yeah.
is and Mark's brother.
Okay. All right.
So he's used both of them as the threats, and he said they're going to take my kids away in family court, and they're going to take my house away, and his threats are ringing very true. One of the threats he said was you're going to end up in a ditch, and the first thing he said before that was, Mark is Jeff is my best friend, and his brother is a very good friend of mine. Right. And this was the day after I made the report. He called me and threatened to put me in the ditch.
The guy that allegedly.
His name's Anthony Germano, and I have overwhelming evidence.
Okay.
And I'd like to sit down with someone and get it on record.
Deputy Heffernan, her sergeant is Sergeant McElroy.
Sergeant McElroy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can write it down for you if you want.
Well, no, I was wondering if I could speak with someone now for the criminal investigation
I'll have to
division.
look it up first and see if somebody's been assigned a case.
My case?
Yeah.
No, because a couple of days ago, had a sheriff come out to the house, a deputy come out to the house, and he refused to take a report. Excuse me. He had a sergeant call me on the phone. I spoke with him. He said he would get with deputy. This was Friday. Would get with Deputy Heffernan, and she would get back to me to update her report. But I've been waiting since November 8th is when I made the initial report. The day after that, this man threatened me and said, don't call the sheriffs again. So for a while I didn't, but then I started calling and coming down again. So there's been no progress on that report.
You talked to this past Friday, you talked to the sergeant?
I talked to a sergeant, yes, the deputy came out to the house.
Okay.
He refused to take a report. He had a sergeant call me and I said, I just need to make a report. And the sergeant said, well, Deputy Heffernan is on tonight at 9:45. We'll have her give you a call.
but it's only a couple of days. I mean, she could have had a past day or, you know, and normally sometimes her past days are 4 days.
No, what I'm telling you is he said that she was coming,
Right, but
and
she
that
didn't contact you Friday.
Saturday or
Again,
Sunday.
I mean, she could have been busy,
or-
but she could.
she could have.
been on a
I understand that,
4-day
but
pass.
you understand that I've been running. I've been told to call
Right.
internal affairs. I've been told to call the undersheriff. I've given his number.
Okay.
These guys have told me to go home and call the non-emergency number or
Yeah.
911 and have any car come out and dispatch and
Okay.
take the report. So
Let me get your information here.
sure, I'm just
Look
being
it
run
up,
around in circles, and I need to make this report.
'cause I need to see what the circumstances are on the incident, all right?
The circumstances are, I just need to make.
All right, what's your name?
It's Michael. ORB. INO.
Rubino?
Yep.
Okay, Michael, what's your date of birth?
10/28. 76.
Okay, give me a minute.
No, he was 7 years. He hasn't worked.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 77. Everybody said he made the best coffee over there. So he was the guy that got there before everybody and made coffee for everyone.
Okay, all right, so this is the amendment I fired to done.
Yep.
From star shooters, you can answer that question on the sign.
Oh, that bottom question.
Yes, yeah.
I'm on like 6 hours sleep over the next 3 days.
I mean, the threats that came along with this, that, you're going to end up in a ditch. I would I understand she may have been busy for the last 3 days, but I've been getting to run around for like a year almost now in this, and the other threats that he's made have came true, very true. And he's using the, Sheriff Sergeant's name to intimidate me. So, and I'm not saying that Sergeant Cheyenne was involved in it in any way. I just, since last November, nobody's done anything, and I was
Michael, you got a middle initial?
P as in Paul.
P, okay.
Okay, just wait for your card, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
My name is Brenda, in case you call.
Okay.
Or if I'm not here, I'll let Whitney know what's going on, where he's, I'll make sure she knows what's going on.
Is there any reason you're looking me up? And
I just put a name in, that's what it does. I'm looking for a report.
I could get you the DR number. It's in my bag if you'd
Oh,
like.
you should have given me that.
I'm sorry. Two three
Yep,
dash 556 193
193.
193.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you.
Yeah, that helps.
I thought you had it up. I apologize. They had it up over there. I think they've had it up over there a couple times.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we'll keep in touch with you. Thank you.
Can I help you, sir?
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
I had an appointment at 10 o'clock for a transfer.
Okay, why don't you come over to the other window, what's your name?
David May, M-A-Y.
Okay. Okay, I'll take your driver's license and your old permit, please.
Old permit.
Yeah.
Is there someone in that I could talk to about this?
Monday's not a good day for our CID because half of the people are off, but I'll make an attempt.
Or, you know, there.
I'm just looking up the details here.
Yeah, it was supposed to be followed up back then, and
The case is closed.
the case is closed.
Oh, wait a minute here.
That's funny because no one ever reached out to me as I was told to, and Deputy Heffernan said specifically that someone from the Criminal Investigations Division would get a hold of me and I could sit down and go over the fraud and the birth certificate and everything. And like I've been explaining to everybody, this is a fraudulent birth certificate that I was instructed to report to the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department by the Social
How do
Security
you know
Administration.
it's fraudulent though?
Because I have all the evidence in my bag. Because he signed another attorney's name, forged the acknowledgement of paternity. Then what he did is he got a court order to change her name,
Right.
and he had us sign acknowledgement of paternity, which I'm not the biological father. There was a biological father on record in the courts that he was involved in personally because he was my ex-wife's attorney before I even knew her. So when I went and I adopted her, he got her name changed legally, but in that Supreme Court.
Did he adopt her?
No, I did, but I'm finding out that it wasn't an adoption. What he did is he just legally changed her name, added me to the birth certificate with a forged acknowledgement of paternity that put me on the birth certificate as the father against the judge's orders.
Have you contacted family court at all on this?
Oh yeah, but that's the judicial end of it. It has to be reported on the legal end of it, I'm told as well. Because the courts are well aware of it. It's documented. I uploaded all the evidence and all the
I mean,
documents.
I'm seeing here a forgery second official document.
But it's not. It's fraud first.
I'm sorry, if none of these apply,
And that's what we were supposed to go over, and that's why everybody's kind of avoiding me. And it kind of, I hate to even say it, but with the threats that were made, that my complaints wasn't going to go anywhere because his best friend is Sergeant Shiano, it kind of...
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with it.
Well, no, and that's what I want to believe, but everybody's sending me in circles.
Yeah.
Like they know over there, and CID even said it, or not CID. I'm sorry, wherever they sent me to Internal Affairs even said it. They should have never sent you here. They just took 3 days up. They're just delaying time. But here's the thing: if that case is closed, then I need to make a new report, which I tried to do on Friday. They told me that I couldn't. That I had to update this report with Heffernan, but now you're telling me it's closed, which would mean I'd have to make a new report. So you see where I'm not on the same page here?
You wouldn't have to make a new report. All you're gonna do is just reopen it.
Okay, and can I reopen that with anybody?
You can by giving the DR. They would just have to file a supplemental report to open.
And that's what I tried to do on Friday, and they were adamant about not letting me and telling me that
Right. And
Deputy Heffernan would get back to me, and she didn't.
To do that follow-up.
Right, but it doesn't. I was told by Internal Affairs it doesn't have to be the same deputy. Anybody can come out and reopen it or
Okay.
add to it or whatever. But now you're telling me it's closed. I'm just getting, and nothing against you. You're just reading this computer. I'm not trying to say you did anything wrong. You didn't. I'm just trying to find out how I can go about updating this into the fraudulent document end of it because they wrote it up for forgery. And it's a fraudulent birth certificate that I was told by the federal government to report.
By the federal government?
Yes, the Social Security Administration and the Office of the
So
Inspector.
is it a federal crime?
They told me to report it to my local sheriff's department.
If it's a federal crime, then they have to report it.
I'm telling you what they advised me to do is
They're advising you wrong, I think.
they advised me to report it, the fraud, to the sheriff's department and the family courts and New York State courts, and that's what I've done. So I mean, if I wouldn't be here doing it if they didn't tell me what to do that, that's what they advised me to do.
The only other thing you do is go to the district attorney's office and see if they want to prosecute it.
I was there. It's a conflict of interest because he used to work for their office.
Who?
The attorney that I'm speaking with you on,
Yeah.
he used to work for their office. So
You have an attorney?
no,
You might want to get one.
I'm just trying to report a crime. I don't know why I needed
I
to.
understand that, but for some reason, they're not listening to you. So let me,
Right, and that reason is and I believe that reason is because the threats that he's made, who his friends are, that he's made it very clear to me what not to do. And after I made the initial report, he called me the day after and threatened me using Sergeant Chiano's name.
okay.
So I mean I don't
I'll
think
get through somebody there,
I appreciate it.
okay?
I don't know why I need an attorney to report a crime. It's just because he's an attorney and he has friends. That's why.
Regulations, read through there. If you have any questions or anything, we have a website, we have email, we have phone. You know, if you have any questions, okay?
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Sir, I'm sorry, did I get your email?
13 in cash.
No, the reason for an attorney is so that you can dispute the birth certificate in family court.
I just did that in family court.
And what happened?
I uploaded the documents using the EDDS
Yeah?
twice on two different family court petitions, and I was told that it has to be. There's two different levels. There's a judicial level that's being handed on, but then there's a criminal division that has to be handed on.
And how's it happening on the judicial? Did it change?
It's being investigated.
Okay.
It's being looked into, and I'm told it has to be investigated on a legal matter too.
Well,
I was told by the New York courts that they don't investigate a criminal end of it. That they also told me that I had to make a report with the sheriff's department.
right.
So
I'm going to give you the sergeant's name and CID, okay?
Your application?
there's nobody upstairs that you can call
There's
and.
nobody upstairs. I have to go through a sergeant,
Okay, that's
and
fine.
he's not answering.
Okay, so from here, what do I do? I just
You
should.
have to try to reach out to this person. I'll give you the number for CID, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Reach out if there's, I was gonna say if there's just leave a message if they don't answer.
Yeah.
And ask for Sergeant Bloodgood, okay?
What if an attorney came in here and someone you see every day in
It's
the
gonna help.
and said I threatened them, and nobody would the same things be going on?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to help you here.
No, I
so-
appreciate. I'm just asking. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm just
my
trying to.
hands are tied too.
Listen. I appreciate your time and your help. I'm not saying you're doing
No.
anything wrong or any of that. I'm trying to figure out how I can just make a simple report. And the fact is, that the man who threatened me is using the sheriff's department. So I'm not going to go hide in the corner. I'm going to come down here and I want to talk about it, and I want to present the evidence that should be on that report.
You can
That's all.
try the state police as well to see if they want to investigate.
The state police said it has to be done in the sheriff's department. I've already called them as well because that's what Chief
Okay.
Dell over there advised, and they've advised me to go everywhere else but their counter. So.
I mean, the only other thing you do is call back and try to talk to Deputy Heffernan.
Okay, but anybody, you just said anybody
I can
can.
give you her number too, her station number if you want.
Okay, yeah, if you like, that's
Okay.
fine. If so just so I'm clear, is the case open or is it closed?
It looks to me like it's closed.
Okay, so they can add to it or make a new
They
one.
can add to it, they can reopen it,
Okay,
okay, with,
and any sheriff's
More-
deputy
right.
can do that.
yeah.
I'm just trying to say because Friday they told me
If that's
different.
what Internal Affairs told you to do, then any deputy can reopen it.
Right, and when they came out, when the deputy came out, he did the exact. He told me the exact opposite. He said he couldn't do it. He had a sergeant call me. And the sergeant said that Deputy Heffernan would have to come out.
Well, probably because she has more detail than, you know what I mean? She investigated the original incident.
No, she didn't. She just took the report and said that someone would be investigating, which never happened.
Hang on a minute, I gotta try to find it here.
That's all right. I'll just call, you get a line foreman over here. I can call the non-emergency number. I got that one for the sergeant.
Okay.
But if just to be clear, any deputy can come out and add to that report or make a new one.
If that's what internal affairs told you, yes.
But on your end, it shouldn't have to be this. I can make a new report about the threat because the threat came after that. So I mean, can I make
If it's
it?
a different, if it's a different criminal charge, any police officer can make.
Because on that initial report that I'm talking about that we're looking at, they give
a
the
forgery.
right. But after that came a threat by him because of that.
Okay.
Because of that report I made for the sheriff's department, he called me the day after I made that report and threatened to put me in a ditch, and he threatened it using the sergeant's name. So can I make a new report on that and the fraud?
That or you can call internal affairs again. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.